Peace and blessings. Namaste. Namastizzle. Shalom. Waza. I know I'm corny. I'm corny. I am
Magic
peace and blessings.
LaCroix.
And please help me. Welcome back to Motown Witch. I've been dying to do that. No, but seriously, y'all, thanks for joining us today. I have, after about a year, the Motown Witch has rejoined me. How are you?
I am groovy. How are you?
I am good. Um, another rainy day here in Texas, but
Oh,
this weather is humid though. It's still hot, and this is just summer in Texas. How's it there in Detroit?
well, yesterday it was only like 60 something. Tomorrow is going to be 80 something. So Michigan is bipolar. It's one extreme or the other.
Okay, okay. So it's been a year since you've been here.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
sure that there have been some new happenings, some new developments. What have you been doing in this past year? Anything at all?
Staying out of jail. No,
Out of jail. I
um,
hear that.
we have been, I guess you could say we've been helping more women with the Real Black Witches of Detroit. I have
Okay.
we've redesigned with using a different moderator now, someone who's more focused on the women as opposed to their own ego, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
Um, because I mean, the premise of the meeting initially was women of color have so many different questions and issues and things with just living here in this country that they need a place, a safe place to be able to talk and everything. So
Okay.
that's expanded. We have a bigger group of those ladies, and we do more voodoo ceremonies. We've had a couple more since the last time I talked to you.
Okay. Okay.
That's basically it. Staying
Okay,
out of
but
trouble.
that sounds like a lot though. So if you don't mind, I'd like to dive more into that. This is the first time I'm hearing it. This is like a program for
The
women?
Real Black Witches.
Yes.
It's something that I started at least 5 years ago.
Okay.
Because so many women would come into the store and they would have questions, and then some women I've had women actually burst into tears because it's something like coming in and saying, um, I need to cleanse my house and I need sage. And
Mm,
it's like, well, sage is not going to do it. Did you get the bleach and the water? Did you do, the old fashioned grandma way? And then
right.
I started talking about different things grandma did. And the one girl, she just busted into tears. I was like, oh my God, I forgot all about all those things.
Hmm.
So I found that many women had questions or could recollect or just pay attention to what their family did. And, because most people don't
Right.
even, you don't really think about what, because you're just doing it.
Right. Right.
So having those conversations that led me to go, okay, so once a month we would have these meetings where you could ask whatever, no question is stupid. You can ask whatever you want to ask. And the
Right.
reason why I make it women only is because most women are the foundation of the house anyway, with the kids and everything. And then
Absolutely.
leaving the male aspect out also leaves the sexual tension out.
Hmm.
So the women, you get to
Okay.
focus on just the women
Okay.
without the ego. I don't care what title you might have in whatever religion you're in, whatever
Right.
thing you do, everyone can ask everything. And you ended up with different resources because this person might be having a challenge in something and somebody else has a connection. You know what I mean?
I do. I do.
So it works out. And then that led to, oh my God, we got to do it more than once a month. So now I have two. It's like basically it's like the first Saturday. That's the nighttime meeting. That's the one where everybody gets a little loose because that's the one after we close. That's at 6, and they can bring what they drink and smoke and chill. And
Okay.
then the third Saturday, that's the one at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. That's a little bit more structured because that happens in the front of the store while the store is still open.
That sounds interesting. So can anybody come or just they sign up online or anything like that?
Any woman of color, as long as they're well, you have to come here because it's here in the store. It's not online.
So it's not online. Is that going to be an
Yes.
option in the future, or you're just keeping it strictly local?
I think local. Oh, it's the Real Black Witches of Detroit. So I think is local is good because it's hard to monitor online.
Okay.
Because you really
Understood.
don't know who's there, who's listening. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So,
Right. You got that human factor there.
yeah.
Understood. Understood. So you also said the second part of that of your busyness was the you said voodoo initiations. Did I hear
But
you right?
ceremony, well, the fetes, the parties, the celebrations.
Okay.
Different months you honor different lois. So, um, yeah, I think the last one we did here was Gede. It's a Gede celebration. That was in November.
Oh,
So I'm trying to get something else because, well, the house that I work with, there's people located everywhere. So the last one was in Texas. She's in Winnie, Texas.
right.
And then the next one might be in Georgia.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Wow. That's and so you've done this and you have the Witches Ball, which is coming up in a few months,
the Witches
and
Ball is coming up in October.
the bazaar, right?
Yep, the bazaar happens before the ball the same day.
So you pretty much a pillar of the Detroit community as far as Black witches go, right? Now I'm not being facetious. I'm serious. You're a pillar.
I guess. I really don't think about it. I just do what I do.
That's
I don't
good.
really think about it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it sounds like there's something that's needed, especially for women. You
Yeah.
know, I bet that there's a lot of challenges with you dealing with just women. I mean, how do I say this without being offensive to women? Just the different personalities and the temperaments.
It can be.
It can be challenging.
It can be challenging because I have a non-existent filter. So it can be
This I
challenging.
know.
There's some people who don't mess with me because they think I'm just so fucking mean. And I'm sorry.
No,
So
you're good. You're good. We
they they
grown.
they, they think I'm so mean, and it's like it's not that I'm mean. I'm just direct. I just
Right.
don't understand. I don't understand crying to me about something that you can fix. And there's a
Mm.
lot of people who think that they can burn a candle to fix something that they can fix. It's like just do it. I mean, I don't understand what your problem is, and it turns into one of those kind of things. And then they cry to me, then they feel better, and then where everything's groovy.
Okay. Okay. Understood. You said, um, people think they can just burn a candle, light some
Mm-hmm.
sage, and their problems go away. And but you know what? A lot of people, because of the trendiness of the craft online these days and social media, a lot of people really do think that. They think
Yes.
they can say a couple words, light a candle, bam, I contacted the Lord. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that going on around here. You see what I'm saying? How do you feel about that? I see you laughing, but
I go through it a lot. I listen to it because everybody in Detroit thinks they're Oshun.
everybody.
Everybody.
That's everybody online though. They thought Beyonce was Oshun.
Yep. And I
But
deal with that. And there's a lot of because I'm just how can I say this? I'm a very practical person.
right.
So once we get through that part, and some people they'll tell me, well, I hear what you're saying, but I still want to blah blah blah. So it's like, okay, well, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm still a store, so buy what you're gonna buy.
I like that though. I like that. I like that.
I'm being honest with you, and you
Mhm.
choose to listen to Boo Boo Kitty from TikTok. It's like, okay, well, I have it. I have the supplies, so here you go. So yeah.
Okay, let me go ahead in the chat, see who's in here. Applause to my other half, my missus in the audience. Uh Peace and blessings, Legacy Sigma. Peace and namaste, Katrina. Aloha, my cherie. Peace and blessings, Brother Moore. Peace and blessings, Brother Kunami, peace, Sister Righteous. If you have any questions for the Motown Witch, put them in the chat and I will ask her of that. So I was saying challenges as far as that concerns. This was one of the reasons I never wanted to open, not diminishing your store at all, but this was one of the reasons I never wanted to open a brick and mortar store because, for one, I'm a Virgo, I'm cheap, and I don't want to deal with the overhead. That's number one thing. But the challenges of having to deal with people, because I'm a very hermit person. I just don't like people. You know what I'm saying? So the older I've gotten, the more ascended I've become and the more spiritually conscious I've gotten, it's hard to live within modern society. Are you a social butterfly, being in Aries? You're Aries, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Are you a
Some
social
would say that I am. I'm a shy extrovert introvert.
shy, extrovert, and introvert? And that's
Girl,
interesting.
I mean, the store thing just happened on its own. I didn't start this. I didn't do this on purpose. So this just happened. I spent all these years working as a legal assistant at law firms, legal
Oh,
secretary, legal assistant. That's what I did for, umpteen thousand years.
wow.
And was a belly dancer at the same time. On my side gig was a belly dancer.
I remember that.
So but then there's the shy part, So there's
Right.
that. And then there's all my years hanging with rock bands. And then there's still the shy part.
Okay. So I remember our last interview, you're a metalhead, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you listen to, I'm sure that's not the only genre of music you listen to. Can
I
you
listen to
listen to
everything.
everything? Can you listen to modern day music? I find it extremely hard to.
Modern day,
R&B, hip hop,
no,
modern day. Like,
no.
okay, no.
I don't understand what the hell they're talking about.
Right.
I've watched Saturday Night Live a couple weeks in a row, and I've seen some acts, and it's like, what the hell is this nonsense?
Yeah, it's
I
bad.
don't understand. My oldest grandson he'll be 16 this year. No,
No.
no.
Okay. I figured that. I thought I would ask though.
I torture them. They get tortured. They got tortured like their dad used to get tortured. They get because my car, my rules.
Right. So you listen to what, metal, hard rock?
Whatever I want to be listening to at that time.
It's so bad. But I think, I was talking on one of my lives about the dumbing down of the entire society. It's deliberate. You know what I mean? And music's a big part of it because it's so influential. It has gotten so bad. For one, I can't listen to it. It makes my ears bleed. It's gotten so bad. I shit you not. Africa just launched a mute rapper.
What?
Let me see if I can find it. I know I saved it. I wasn't planning on showing it. I think I will.
I'm sorry.
I
That's so
think I will.
inappropriate.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Just give me 1 second. Let me look this up. I found it. All right. So give me a second because what I'm gonna do is share my screen here.
I'm still trying to get that concept. Okay.
Right. Watch. Check this out. Dora pause. Yeah. Mute rapper. Isn't that an oxymoron? How can you be mute and be a rapper? I thought it was a skit. It's for real. It's in Africa. A mute fucking rapper.
Oh my god. Oh.
Yeah. It's always something. I swear it is always something.
Oh.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Namaste, Mary. Mary in the chat said, where is she? I'm in Detroit. At the end of this, well, I will have the your contact information again in the description box, but I'm not sure if you mind giving out your
Oh, I can give
information.
it.
Okay.
On the west side of Detroit, 16844 Schaefer and 6 Mile.
Is it a big store or is it in a shopping
I'm in a
center?
strip mall.
Yeah.
I'm in a
Strip.
strip mall next door to Happy's Pizza.
Is there a strip club in that area?
No.
I'm kidding. Kidding. um, we spoke last time about you being in what they would call a natural witch, that you've been born into this.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, is there any form of divination that you prefer? Like maybe tarot or the dice? Nothing?
I have my pendulum in my purse. That's that's basically it. And I
Do
really hardly ever touch that. I just go by how I feel.
intuition?
I don't give readings. I
You don't do readings,
mm-mm. People get on my nerves. I
but
mean, I
you're
have I'm,
a social butterfly. You did say that, right?
I have readers here, I have readers that work here,
Okay.
and seeing that there are people who come in once a week, once every 2 weeks. It's like basically, should I wear purple underwear today? Let me go to the reader. It's the most irritatingest thing. So I don't have that kind of patience. I do not. That's one of the reasons I stopped doing work. I stopped doing extra work. I have certain customers, certain clients that I will do work for, because I can't, that whole thing where you got to constantly contact and constantly, oh my God, I woke up and had a booger in my eye. What does that mean? It's like, seriously? I just,
One of the things that I'd like to tell people, and they still do not listen, and this is the most important thing, and that people don't get it, is that if you pay someone to do work for you, you have to let them work. You have to not stress them out by asking every 5 minutes, what's going on? What's going on? The old ancient grimoires, the magical books, state you is to know, to will, to dare, and to be silent. You're supposed to stop worrying about it.
yes.
Worrying about it actually works against it. And people
Mm-hmm.
still do not get that part. You know
No,
what I mean? Let's
not at
see.
all. I told someone that was here not too long ago. In fact, she went back somewhere. I don't know where in Texas she lives, but she was in Detroit for whatever reason. Came in, she told me about her situation. She got back down to Texas, and there was an issue on Monday. So I told her, fine, I got you, because I understand the situation. I got you. Don't even worry about it. When it works out, just send me a donation. What I told her. Within an hour, she sent me 3 other actual emails. And then the next day she cashed out me $50. I'm like, so you don't listen. You
50?
don't listen. And I told her, I said, look, if you're working with your ancestors, I'm working here in Detroit, you're working down there with your ancestors, let it go. Let it go. Let it do what it do. So my
Yeah.
patience level is not that great.
I had a person who she acted like she wanted to be a student. I think I relayed this story before. And I told her I gave her something to do. She wanted this guy real bad. Um, so she did what I told her to do, and within 15 minutes of doing it, she called him. So he blocked her. I was like, you didn't give it time to do anything. You know what I mean? 15 minutes. I have so many stories like that of people being impatient. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But I see
It's a,
why you don't do work anymore.
it's a microwave society. Everybody wants everything right now.
Right. Exactly. Mary says, oh, well, Moore said, how can he catch the beat? Now, I get hearing aid, I guess. I don't know. But
Well, you can feel it.
yeah.
You can. I used to hang out with a deaf dude. He used to hang with us, and he was he felt the beat.
Okay. Okay. I guess. I mean, you want to rap to that? I mean, he sounds like modern day rappers. He sounds exactly. I'm sure that's what he's mimicking. I'm sure that's what he's mimicking. Mary says, okay, I'm east, but I know exactly where you at.
All right.
Okay, so I thought it was a question, but I think she knows she's gonna visit your store. And Katrina says, "Go wash your face." Sheesh. And Legacy Sigma says, "Magic is an art of patience in itself." Indeed.
Absolutely.
Don't forget to hit that like button, share, subscribe. I'm sitting here with the Motown Witch for another 101. The Detroit Witches Balls coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that has to be challenging. Um, I think you described it a little bit last time. I remember you saying it was formal. It's a formal event. It's a black
Yeah.
tie event. So
Mhm.
gotta come dressed, and there are vendors, right? There are
Yeah,
vendors.
in the daytime from what nine until 3, there's vendors.
Okay.
And I usually have I have space for 75. I usually have about 50 vendors, and that's that. They're doing that at 3 o'clock. That ends. They swap the room out, and it magically becomes the ballroom. I got my people to come in and put centerpieces down and all that stuff. And I usually get a hotel room there, and I come downstairs, and everything's done. Dinner served at 6, 7. Dinner served at 7 for the ball,
Hmm.
and after dinner is open bar and dancing all night.
Wow. So it's an actual event, the whole a whole day event.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. All right. Is there any drama to deal with that? Any switch ups? Okay, so you answered that question. You answered that question. Um,
Well, the drama is other again. It's drama that didn't have to be. For years, I went to the other people's witches ball,
mm,
and everything was fine. But they do a whole lot. They do other stuff. They do Wicca-ish stuff, like what's that called, the circle dance, where everybody does
right.
that
Screaming
weird
at the
thing.
moon and stuff like that. Yeah.
They do this thing where it's like a conga line, but it goes real fast with this one
Right.
song. So
Right.
you're watching these people who've been drinking alcohol and have on high heel shoes fall all over the floor trying to run around in a circle. Anyway, yeah, that kind
I
of
can
thing.
imagine.
And
I can
those are
imagine.
kind of things. And then they will have the king and queen of ball. That had to stop
Did
because
it?
that had started. Yeah, they had to stop because the last year I went to their ball, the lady who had taken it over, she said it was time to vote for the king and queen of the ball, and the king has to be a male and the queen has to be a female, and that
Huh?
started a war.
The queen had to be a male and
Well, maybe I got it wrong. The king had to be a male, and the queen had to
oh,
be a female.
okay. I wouldn't
I'm
be
sorry,
surprised if it was reversed like that with
but
today's
it started a
society.
war. She was labeled a homophobe and all these things,
Wow.
and she had to. I think she quit her job because she had death threats, and it was nuts.
Jeez.
It was really nuts. But I was sitting next to a dude with these ginormous triple
Breasts?
D breasts, full beard, full Boy George makeup. And he was really mad. He's sitting next to me at a table. We all had sponsor tables. And then there are big banquet tables that you share with other people.
All
So he
right.
was sitting next to me, and the whole time he's sitting next to me, he's talking about how his kids call him dad, and I'm looking at him, and it's almost like a Flame Monroe type situation. I'm confused, and I'm like, you're fucking up my buzz, dude. Yeah. Because he's angry and he's like, but I'm a sponsor. And I'm like, I'm a sponsor too, but I don't understand why you're so mad. But he was mad because technically he didn't qualify. Because I mean, I don't know. It's all very confusing to me.
It is to most people. Most people don't want to admit it. They don't want to get canceled. And basically, I avoided the topic, even though I have very strong opinions about it. But since this is their platform, then I just stay mute about it. It's sad
Understood.
that you can't speak about it without being threatened to be canceled. But,
And
a
she
lot
was
of people,
canceled.
it was canceled.
She was canceled.
She was canceled.
She was absolutely canceled for making that one statement. I mean, I don't know that just because it making the difference between a male and a female. I guess you can't do a male and a female role
Right.
anymore.
That's
So, but we're
like I
gonna
said,
do the king and queen of the ball. So there you go.
that's but with notwithstanding all of that, do you still have some kind of drama at the witches ball, at the
Oh
bazaar?
no,
No? Okay.
No, I'm considered insane.
Okay. Insane.
I'm
Okay.
considered nuts.
The reason I'm asking this particular question is because people switch up all the time. You know, I think it has a lot to do with the past 5 years, but it seems like this particular field draws in all kinds of nuts and mentally unstable people and people who think that you're hexing them or cursing them. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's my life up here at the store.
Really?
That's not at the ball.
Do
That's
tell.
at the store. Yeah,
People think,
there's that happens a lot.
what do you think that's from? Any idea?
They're nut jobs. I mean,
Pretty
because
much.
it just a lot of it doesn't make it. The best example I have of that is before I moved to this store, when I had the smaller store, there was a young lady who used to come and she used to buy herbs all the time. One day, I she crossed my mind, and I was like, "Wow, I haven't heard from her in a minute. I wonder what happened to her." I couldn't remember her name, so I couldn't look her up because I couldn't remember her name. I just remember she used to come in like once a week and buy a lot of herbs. So one day, one of my friends who's a Bible owl comes in, and we're having a conversation. Now I've known him for like 20 years. He says, I got this new godchild, and she says that you hexed her. And I told her that that's not your way. And I'm like, what? So he tells me the story. And I'm like, I have no clue who you're talking about. So he pulls her face up on Facebook. And I'm like, I was just wondering what happened to her. What does she mean? She had somebody gave her a reading. And it said that it was a lady who owned the store that had locks and glasses and they were hexing her. And I'm like, for what? What does she have? What? Help me understand.
Yeah, it boggles my mind because it happened so much to me as well. And they actually thought that I killed somebody,
Wow.
because me and him fell out. And so he said the first thing out his mouth was that I'm gonna tell my group not to fuck with you. I was like, if you need people to recruit to hate me for whatever reason, because you and I disagree, perfectly fine. What are you, 12? I'm a grown man. Do what you gotta do. And the next thing you know, the rumor was going around because he passed away. And they think I
Mm.
did. I was like, come on now. Why? That's not that serious. You know what I mean? It's just not that serious. But with social media making it trendy, this is what we got to deal with now. Let's see what's in the
Absolutely.
chat.
That's been happening to me for a long time though, because I know going back some years, somebody who didn't like me in the pagan community, she gave a belly dance event and nobody showed up, but she told everybody that I hexed their event. And I'm like, I didn't even know you were having an event. So you guys give me way too much credit.
Yeah, that's what I was telling people. I said, y'all give me way too much credit. I wouldn't waste my time trying to kill somebody over a disagreement. That's just stupid, you know? But again, this is what social media has created.
Absolutely.
Let's go in the chat here. Being on a path, what are some of the most noticeable similarities between magical systems as a witch? This comes from Brother Moore.
Similarities between magical systems.
As a witch, being on a path, what are some of the most noticeable similarities between magical systems as a witch?
Y'all want me to think.
If you wouldn't mind. um,
Huh. I guess the similarities would be colors, the whole color patterns, like colors of the days, colors that go with certain deities, with the candles. That would be the most prevalent
right.
uh,
Planetary.
similarities. Of course, the meanings of herbs all go across the same paths, things like that. Just that energy.
The
It,
base.
it's
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. I would answer that the same way. The basics, candle magic, the planets, the
Mm-hmm.
colors, herbs, like she said, and I think that's basically it. It's basics for me anyway.
The deities just change, basically.
Basically, that's basically it. You're absolutely correct. What is the magical scene like in Detroit anyway? Are there even a lot of shops out there? Brother Moore asked that question. I'm
There's
curious
not a
about
lot
that
of
myself.
Well, Detroit is separated by
Race?
race, so to
Yeah.
speak, and then there's 8 Mile, which is the dividing line between Detroit proper and the suburbs. So the
Hmm.
suburbs, there's lots of shops that are Wicca-ish. We'll put it that way.
Wicca-ish. Mhm.
Wicca-ish. The distinction with my store and all the other stores is I have more African-centered products, more hoodoo-centered products. You can get dirt daubers nests here,
Really?
bee carcasses, what else?
Wow.
I got more of that kind of stuff that because most people come here and go, oh my God, I didn't know, God, I can't put, I got a lot of stuff.
You said Dirt
So,
Dauber's Nest. I've never
mhm.
seen, I've been doing this over 20 years. I've never seen a store that sold it. Never. And you
See,
sell it.
yep,
Wow. Okay. Don't forget, I'm gonna
mhm.
get the Calia from you too. I'm just not ready for it just yet. Calia Zacatechichi.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the herb.
Yeah. Yeah. But you were gonna say
Yeah.
something. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I think in getting the products, I think it how my we want to call it my supply has grown because me spending those 3 months of every year in Alabama puts a whole different part on me and my northernness. So I
Oh.
get to relive and bring back stuff that was familiar to me from spending all my summers down south.
This is something you do annually? You
No, that's how I grew up.
Oh, that's how you grew up.
That's how I grew up.
Alabama. Okay, okay,
Hmm.
gotcha.
Yeah, the day after school got out, I was on a Greyhound bus with my grandmother going to Alabama.
Okay,
And
okay,
I didn't come back until September. So from June to September, I was always in Alabama.
okay. That had to be an experience in itself.
Yeah, I hated coming back to Michigan.
Really?
I wanted
But
to stay with my great grandmother. I didn't want to come back up here.
that's interesting. Um isn't Detroit mostly us? No?
Well, I didn't live in Detroit. I grew up in a small Polish town inside of Detroit.
Okay.
So I didn't even grow up in Detroit proper. I was the black kid in the middle of a whole Polish neighborhood. So that wasn't the reason why I like being down there. I just like being down there because of the freedom. I mean, my great grandmother had a whole working farm with pigs, goats,
Okay.
mules, you
Okay.
know,
Okay.
everything. I like being down there. My mother spent all of her time trying to teach me how to be a proper young lady. And I wasn't supposed to do this. And now down there, I can spit. I can do all kind of stuff. So,
So your grandmother's the one who taught you the witchy ways.
that's the one I got everything. There was no name for it. It's just watching her do what she did.
Gotcha.
She didn't do doctors. She didn't do any of that stuff. She would just go make teas and shit and drink it. You just drank it.
That's I would say I envy that. But that's a gift, to be able to come up like that. Me, I had to learn it and it took a long time. But I'm thankful for my journey now. But
Hmm.
back in like 10 years in, I'm like, fuck everybody, fuck this, I don't want to do this shit. Why couldn't I find a teacher? Anyway. But yeah, that's a that's a blessing in itself. Let's go to the chat here. I have a question. Legacy Sigma says, as a person who is delving more and more with the spiritual practice of the occult, I find that I do not resonate with Wiccan or witchcraft. I read Cunningham's books and even. Um, he continues. Cunningham, and even Buckland's books. Also, I am a sponge and have learned from these books. What are your advice on path working for someone who doesn't resonate with those systems, but is still doing the work? Um,
Well,
go.
I consider a witch a healer. Period. I started calling myself a witch at 10 years old.
Mhm.
So witchcraft and calling yourself a witch and just because you can heal with things from the earth really doesn't have anything to do with Wicca, which is Scott Cunningham. And yeah, it just
Raymond
doesn't.
Buckland. Mhm.
Right.
Right.
So although I do have those books, I read those books. I don't even know how many years. I think my Buckland's book is yellow. It's so old. I
That's
have
old.
those books because I did read them back in the day,
Mhm.
and I can't throw books away. That's my own challenge. But I
Mine too.
have them. But I don't look at witch and Wicca the same. I look at witch as a healer and who lives from the earth.
All right.
So
Totally great answer. For me, I spent 10 years learning Wicca and witchcraft, and to put things in perspective, it was invented in 1954. You know what I mean? So that's an invented part of it. You know what I mean? So if it doesn't resonate, there's a reason for that. I'm not gonna say why, you can figure that out. But I'm a sponge also, Legacy Sigma, and I've learned pretty much all of them. And it's because I wanted to learn and I couldn't find a teacher, so I had no other choice. Um, but if you don't resonate with something, don't do it. There's always an alternative. In my opinion, Wicca just came from Hoodoo. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I'm just saying, you know. But 1954, Gerald Gardner invented Wicca. So there you have it. Peace and wholeness, Olathe. Is that a common thing for people in this community to think that someone is hexing or doing some work on them? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I could tell y'all stories. I'm sure Motown Witch could tell you stories of being accused. I've been unfriended because people think I was coming after them. And I'm like, it's always been warned that people with mental instabilities don't touch this. You know, it's been warned, but people don't listen to that. And there's a lot, like we was talking the other day, there's a lot of mental instability in would you agree?
absolutely.
Okay, yeah, it's a lot of mental instability. So, I mean, it is what it is. I've got to that point where I don't care anymore. So, let's see. I always ask that because when we travel, we look for a lot of stores. And it seems like out of town stores, they be far in between. This is Brother Moore asking us, what's going on at Empress KK?
In Detroit, they are far in between. They're in Detroit proper, they are far in between.
And peace and blessings, Sister Moon Feather. When you think, but see, when I think of Detroit, I don't think of a witch community. Or what I think of is like the players ball and pimps and I'm just saying. That's what I think of. I don't think of a spiritual community. I'm sorry.
Oh, all right. You got to look at the older people specifically.
Right.
Seriously, there was a store near downtown Detroit for decades called anyway, so there was a store down there. It used to be there. They've closed in the last couple years, but it was a store that our grandparents all went to because most of our people came from the South. So they brought their root work, hoodoo essence, and all these other things. But like I said, it just didn't have a name. It's just what everybody did. Right. So you got you had the numbers books, you had the incense, you had candles, a few herbs, they had the oils, they had the readers in there, all that stuff. In fact, they closed 2 years ago, and there was an elderly gentleman that came in here this morning. He started, did y'all used to be downtown? Because everybody thinks that I'm that store that used to be down there. And it's like, no, I'm not the same store, but that was like the store that everyone congregated to.
Okay. Right.
You know, so it because we have a huge, well, the whole Southern migration, so they brought all that stuff up here. That's what always cracks me up when everybody goes into this whole big thing about New Orleans. And it's like, I get that at least every other day, somebody will come in here and say, well, my family's from New Orleans. It's like, okay, yes. And we got just as many magical people up here. So don't come in here with that nonsense.
Okay. All right. Is it still racially segregated though? The magical communities?
Yeah.
Okay. That's a very segregated city. I was unaware of that.
Michigan itself is very racially segregated.
Wow. I didn't know that. I swear I didn't know that.
Yeah, you still got, I mean, the most popular sundown town is just 10 miles, 15 miles from here, from
You
where I
ever
sit right
sundown
now.
town? Really?
Yeah, Livonia. Yeah, I've even had the cops. I've come up off the freeway and had the cop get right behind me.
Really?
Yeah, it's still
Yeah.
there's certain parts of Upper Michigan you just don't. This the last law firm I worked for. I've always worked downtown Detroit. The last law firm I worked for was in Troy, which is a suburb. It's like 25 miles from here. And at least once a month, I had a cop running my plates, riding behind me, running my plates.
They ever stop you?
No, all my stuff is legal. You have no reason to, because they run your place to see if your insurance is valid and all that good stuff.
Huh. That's something to think about there. I was unaware of that. I did not know that. Wow.
Prejudice here, and that's why I tell people a lot of the time who ask me questions about my love for the South itself, and they go, but it's they're so prejudiced. I said there's a difference. I like it if I know you don't like me and you're in my face with not liking me, as opposed to stabbing me in my back and conspiring against me over here. I prefer it that way.
There you go. There you go. Philadelphia, where I'm from, is racially segregated, but it's more subtle there. It's not in your face like down south. I've not seen much at all racism here in Texas. It's not what people think.
I
But
spent a lot of summers coming to Texas when I was
yeah.
husband number 2. That was some years ago.
Number 2, huh?
I have to
Yeah.
remember who I was married to, what I was doing, what I don't know.
Wow. Um, that's crazy. Sundown town in Michigan.
There's lots of them. The best story I have of that is a few years ago, a couple, because I perform weddings. So a couple years ago, a lady came to me, her and her fiance, and her mom and dad. They came, asked me would I perform their ceremony. So we talked about the logistics of everything, talked the money, they told me where it was going to be, the other side of Fenton, Michigan. Okay, no problem. That's a good 45 minutes from here. I got to, get on the expressway. So we go. We go. It's the middle of like June. Come up off the freeway. I see the side of the barn that says Trump won. See, the other side says Trump is president. This is after he lost. Step a little further, I see Uncle Sam hanging from a noose from a tree. I'm like, yeah, it's time. And I'm looking around, and it's a 2-lane road, and there's openness, and there's barns. This is like the country part of Michigan. There's open roads, there's barns, and the houses are pushed back, and it's just this 2-lane road. I'm like, turn around. We're not going. Turn around. And I felt bad. I sent her a message, told her I'm sorry due to unforeseen circumstances I can't make it. I refunded her money. The next morning I woke up feeling bad. I'm like, this girl thought she was gonna wake up married, blah blah blah. So I get up, I get online, I see the pictures of the ceremony. Somebody else was there. There was a judge there and somebody else. So they still got married. Somebody was still there to perform the ceremony. But I'm looking at the pictures, and the pictures, they were getting married in like this open barn, and the wedding party was like on the tractor with the flatbed, and they're on the flatbed with the cases of beer and all this stuff. And there's no one of color in any picture. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, see, I miss being somebody's sacrifice. I don't know what this was, but everything in me was screaming, turn around.
Wow.
That
And yet,
happened in Michigan.
this is the year 2024. And any did you ever have any thoughts of what would happen if you got stopped? Is that ever a thought in your mind?
If I got stopped by the cops?
If you ran into any kind of situation, like
Oh, I have gotten stopped.
Oh, you have gotten stopped.
Oh yeah, they leave me alone real quick.
Okay. Any okay.
Because I don't know whether it's my attitude, my face, my whatever. They usually leave me alone very fast.
Are they
we're not
racist
doing
too?
this because I'm not doing anything. You know,
the fact that this is allowed, the government still knows these towns exist, it's just got to be disconcerting to anyone listening to this. You know what I mean? I often encourage people to learn some kind of spirituality for protection also, you know. Um,
Absolutely.
and I mean, your intuition was very strong, let you know, hey, this ain't for you to turn around. You know what I
Mm-mm.
mean? Let's go to the chat. Empress KK says, wow, I'm Alabama born and raised. Legacy Sigma makes sense, and thank you. Me too. And that movie Cadillac Records comes to mind. That's why I asked about metaphysical stores. Okay.
Ah,
And then Brother Konami says, especially north of Fowlerville, Michigan. Do you know
yes.
where that's at? Yeah. You're familiar
Yes.
with that. Okay. Peace, Brother Ty. I'm still fascinated with that. That, it's we can't even come together and do anything about that. You know what I mean? And I keep saying, me being in this field for 27 years, magic is the answer to everything. That's me though. But
I mean, it helps.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, it at least helps.
It
Yeah.
helps, but you can't, it doesn't, you can only do so much.
Right. Right. Da, da, da. Any witchy movies? I know it's an odd question for me to ask, but do you like witchy movies? Because if you remember my story, when The Craft came out with the
Hmm.
four witches, that was the beginning of my journey into this path. Do you have any? I know you're laughing, but do you have any witchy movies you like?
That's
Like
one of my favorites.
The Craft?
The
Yeah.
Craft is one of my, The Craft, um, Eve's Bayou.
Eve's Bayou, yes.
Those are the two that stand out the most. That I really that's like in a rotation.
Mm,
Practical Magic is in a rotation just
I
because,
was just
just
about to say
because.
that. Practical Magic, yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we don't have a whole lot.
No, not a lot. Bell Book and Candle's an older one.
Ah, yes,
Yeah, that's an older
yes.
one. I kind of put Charmed on every morning when I get up. I
I've
know
never really watched that. That's a series though, right?
that's a series. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a series. It's my way of getting started for the day. I'm getting ready to go do my exercises and stuff, getting the cats up. I have a whole routine, and I usually just put Charmed on because it's just on at that time of the morning. Yeah, I know it's corny. I know, I get it.
Speaking
But
of that, though, I was in I was in a Detroit movie this past year.
were you?
It's on
What's the
Tubi.
name?
What Lies Within?
You were in that?
Yeah, yeah, it's on
I've
Tubi.
heard it. That's a if it's Tubi, it's a black movie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
What did you have a major part or you
I
just
had a small part. He did it right here in the store. He wrote the part for me in the store. He's a local. He's another pagan dude. Um, yeah, he wrote the part for me. They come into the store for my help. Yeah,
okay? Is it
it was
is it
fun.
is it a witchy movie? Is it
It's a metaphysical movie.
yeah? Okay.
It is. The guy conjures up little things. He sits down because Stanley Nunn is the guy who wrote it and directed it. I I'm not gonna lie because I can never remember whatever form of magic he does.
Mm,
He's a I don't. It's some kind of, I don't know. It's quantum physics type of. I don't. There's
mm,
a name and I don't know the name.
okay.
So he has that incorporated in the movie.
Wow, I'm going to look that up. What lies within? Yeah, I've heard of it, but no one has ever said that it's a good movie or not. But there's another one you might really be interested in, and Loretta Devine is in it. It's called Spell. That's
Yes,
it. You seen that one? Okay.
yes. I
Trying.
play that sometimes out in the store.
Do you?
Hmm.
Okay.
I usually have voodoo music playing throughout the store throughout the
Mm.
day on the big screen. And then some days it depends on my mood. I'll put like Spell or Skeleton Key or something on.
Skeleton Key. Yeah. Yeah. We say there's not a lot in the when we're just starting to name them. Do you have? I know you're a natural witch is what I like to call you. You're a natural witch. So you don't really get into this discussion we had last time. You don't really get into magic books or grimoire. Is that correct?
Huh? Not really. I mean, I read a lot. I think I call my life the Forrest Gump life because
Why
I
is that?
just meet people.
All right.
People just come into my path and I just meet them. So over the years, like me dating the one guy turns out to be the guy that brings Dick Gregory and Bobby Hemmett to town. So
Mm,
next thing you know, I'm sitting at a table having conversations with these people just because, and that's just how my life has been with rock stars and some of everybody else. My life has just been this way. So
okay.
I end up having these conversations and then hanging with people that I'm like, how the hell did I end up in this spot? This is
Right.
interesting. Well, you think about it more in hindsight than when you're actually there.
Right.
So at this point, I probably don't read as much as I used to because I don't have as much free time.
Mm,
Working corporate America, I had a whole lot more time to read than running the
right.
store.
Got it.
And,
Understood.
so, and then life happens. But no, I've never really gotten into a lot of them because for me, something about saying other people's words just bothers me.
Okay.
I have to speak for me. And that's just how I've
Understood.
always been.
Understood. Absolutely. Have you ever met him?
Who?
Bobby Hemmett?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay.
Had dinner and everything.
Yeah.
That's why I was dating a guy who used to bring him here.
Oh,
There
okay.
was a period of time that he was here a lot. Phil Valentine was here a lot. Um, Dick Gregory lectured me over my coffee drinking. Um,
Why is that?
because
I'm drinking coffee.
yeah, see, yeah, um, yeah. He felt that coffee causes stomach cancer.
Really? I never knew that.
So yeah, it's just been the life that, like I said, I have a Forrest Gump life, and I don't think about it while I'm in it. I'm just
Mhm.
there. I'm just present, and then
Right.
later it's like, holy shit, that was so and so.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. A lot of people still don't know if Bobby's still with us. We have not
yeah,
heard anything. You know what I mean?
see, my connection to him, he passed away 3 years ago.
Ah, okay.
So
Someone else
because when
said that
he,
too.
huh?
Someone else said, I heard someone else say that too.
No, my friend who was my connection to him that you used to bring him
Oh,
here,
okay, okay. I got you. I
he
got you.
passed
I got you.
away.
I got you.
So I haven't. I wouldn't know. He would have been the one to know
Okay. Understood.
because those two were very tight.
Bed knobs and broomsticks is something Brother Konami just said. I'm
Yes,
assuming that's another witchy
that's a
movie.
movie.
Bed knobs.
Isn't that I think it's Disney. Is
Is
it
it?
Disney?
I'm not even sure. Broomsticks. I'm gonna look these up. That's two I need to look at. And then my wife says The Princess and the Frog.
Yes.
It was a time where my wife and children was calling me Shadow Man all the time. So that's why she said that. She trying to be funny. Peace, brother Grim, Caribbean Grimoire. Magic, do you still do the tarot and introduction to voodoo via Patreon? Yeah. That's actually one of my favorite forms of divination because it doesn't honestly, I found it doesn't really lie. You can get a very accurate answer from tarot, but they've even dumbed that down now where they actually put answers on the cards. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Instead of you, I guess it's supposed to help a beginner, but still, everything's dumbed down to things.
I
But
think
to answer your
even with,
question, go
go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I think even with that though, with the tarot thing, I think sometimes I know tarot people who read tarot and they're also very in tune spiritually, so it's more like a mediumship type thing.
Right.
So the cards are just like a vague, like a guide.
Right.
But
Right.
then there's the people who just know the book stuff by rote, and they're just going to
Right.
read to you exactly what the. So
Right.
I think
Right.
that's what makes the difference.
Right. Now I tell people, learning intuitive. I tell people use the book in the beginning until you can learn how to read them intuitively, learn the elements and all the other correspondences that go with the tarot, like Kabbalah and stuff like that. But to answer your question, Legacy Sigma, do I still do yes, I still do that. Yes, indeed it is with Angela Lansbury. Y'all giving me some good ones. I've never heard of that one.
It is?
Yes, indeed it is with
Huh.
Angela Lansbury. Huh. Never heard of that. Have you ever heard of
Nope, I'm writing it down.
that? Just like me. Um, oh, I meant to tell you, I had a white Hoogan um have his coven come after me before
What?
because I wasn't agreeing with him on this site about voodoo. He claimed he's a white Hoogan, but yet still all the low are Caucasian or European descent on the site. And I'm like, think that's so disrespectful. So we had it out and I made a video. And the sisters in his coven were coming at me. You know what I'm saying? So um I want to thank
Wow.
you. Yeah, comes with the territory, you know.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that. I get my pushback from people when I have different. Those are the people who generally come here to teach classes. Are my Ugan and Mambo friends?
Okay.
So
Did you get initiated during this last year?
no,
You still hadn't done it, huh?
no, no. Spirit has. I'm sorry. I'm trying to. My son is lowering the gates in the front of the store.
I'm gonna let you go.
I did make a. What do you want to call it? I did listen to Spirit, and I did start the journey. I did do that part.
You did do that part.
I did start the journey. I haven't gone all the way.
You still kind of hesitant about it?
No, I don't have a lot of time.
That's the thing. You gotta have time for that, huh?
You gotta have time, and the mambo that I'm with, the person I finally decided that I trust the most. I love it the fact that she's a teacher first, so she teaches you. You're not just going in blindly.
Right.
She's teaching. So I got a lot to learn. She's giving me a lot of stuff, a lot of videos, she does the videos. Now I got to sit down and watch her videos and to learn more than what I already know. So I gotta get through that first. And that's been the
Gotcha.
challenge because I mean life happens and there's been so much happening. There's been so much that happened in this last 2-3 months. Yeah, my birthday was in April. So starting in April, there's a lot of stuff that happened.
Okay.
So
Okay.
grandma be tired, child.
That's a good tire. That's a good busyness, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
Sometimes.
my ex-husband, my son's father, he passed away, and I had to handle. I'm still handling all of his issues, all of his stuff. Although I divorced that man in '89, I'm still handling all of his business, all of his stuff.
My condolences.
Thank
My
you. So
condolences.
all of those kind of things, and dealing with the grandkids, and dealing with the.
I get you. Thank you so much for joining me again. It's been a pleasure having you again. I
Well,
wish you
thank
much
you.
success with the upcoming Detroit Witches Ball.
You
I
and the
wish
wife should come to Detroit.
I think we can keep thinking about it, but we have so much going on ourselves. I'm going to try and get there one of these years. I really am.
One of these years.
Yeah, one of these years. I can't promise, but I really would like to attend. But I will only know you there.
That's all right.
Yeah,
We don't all stay strangers long. Everybody mingles around and talks to everybody.
cool, cool. Any final thoughts, any final suggestions or advice you want to give out to the people?
Trust yourself and live your magic.
Y'all heard her. This has been Magic LaQuai with the Motown Witch. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see y'all next time. Please give a big round of applause for the Motown. Thank you. I appreciate it. Come back anytime.
Listen to that.
You know what I mean? I am Magic LaQuai. That is the Motown
Thank
Witch,
you.
and we are out of here. Namaste. Peace, y'all.